Hey guys, back with another Maplestory video here. This time we're gonna get right into it, do a much anticipated Hexa Matrix guide video. I wouldn't say it's the end all be all, but I'm at least gonna show you guys how it works and what it takes and where to get all the resources and sort of my progress where I'm at right now and how I got here with 45 mil max damage cap. And then I'm going to go on my Demon Slayer and show you the process of how this works and what it actually looks like. So stay tuned and get excited. This is going to be a fun one, and it's a whole new world out there of DPS and of gameplay. So you don't want to mess it up and you just want to be as efficient as possible. So that's what I'm here to do. All right, so once you hit 250, I'm sure you guys have already seen this already, but you're going to get a light bulb on top of your head and you're going to start doing these two quests, okay? The Sacred 6-job skill for level 250, and kind of halfway through, or maybe not even halfway through, at the end, you're going to get the Hexa Matrix. So this is pretty quick, okay? You can do auto battle. It's going to go auto quest through it. It's a quick process, and then you're going to have to unlock the second one, which it kind of goes right into. And then at the end, you're going to get your symbol. And then at the end, you do all these. This is how you get your daily, okay? And you want to get here because you want to get your daily. You want to get your daily sacred symbols because this is just like the other symbols where you're going to feed it in, level it up, and you're just going to get free physical attack and sacred power. So sacred power here, same thing, is you're going to go into, there's a map area, 10, 20, 30, and it's going to give you the same sort of buffs here: damage, attack, EXP, speed, all that. So that's pretty straightforward. You just have to go through the quest. You're going to unlock it. So what now? You're going to get this Hexa Matrix. It's most likely going to be on the bottom here. So I just went through edit and I moved it to my top left. Okay, so I adjusted things a little bit. Make sure you click on this button here to save it. And then now sacred symbols is what I got here. And then this is the skills. So you see in the top left, there's skills, and then there's stat. Okay, and this is sort of where people are trying to decide what should we do first, what is the best route, what should we prioritize, right? And so both take up resources. So there's the two resources here, Soul Erda and Soul Erda Fragment. So how you get Soul Erda is through bossing. There's two ways, okay? There's going to be through bossing. So you'll scroll here, you're going to get these Soul Erdas. So you see you'll get seven of these from normal, 10 from hard, and it's 10 charges. So basically it's 100. And these do not go to your bag. They go straight into, and you'll see here solo and multi-mode are the same amount you're going to get. And they're going to go straight into here. Okay, so you need 1,000 of this energy to make one Soul Erda. Right, so that's just over time through weekly bosses, Damien, Lotus, everything up until, all the way down to Black Mage, really. You're gonna get 10, and they have some bigger ones here. You can see this one. This one is 500 units. Dark Knell goes all the way up to, geez, gives a lot, 200 units. So you'll see these drop during the bosses. All of these, it's pretty cool. And then you'll see there's a chance of getting these fragments. Okay, so these Soul Erda fragments, again, you can get through bosses. And I've actually gotten it. I'm not sure if this got changed or not, but last night, first day, patch day, I actually got a fragment on a below level 250 character. So I'm not sure if I transferred it over already or not, but let me see. So I was doing Damien on this guy, level 227, and nope. So I transferred it over to my main, but I did get a drop from there. So it's possible to get these drops. I just don't think you are going to get the Soul Erda. So the fragments are RNG based. And just in the patch notes, it says, I think you get 1 to 3 or something like that, or 0 to 3. But basically, these are all RNG based, just like everything else, while the faint Soul Erdas are fixed. Okay, so you know how much you're going to get every week for the soul Erdas if you do your daily bosses, and then fragments, that's hit or miss. Okay, so back to it. Hexa matrix, 2 resources, right? So you see, you click on any of these skills. This is your 6-job skill. Enhancement costs. This is 100% enhancement, so that's nice. There's no RNG on this page as far as I know, but resources, right? So you're gonna need 2 soul Erdas, 40 fragments. So again, from bossing, farming, but the nice thing is too, soul Erda fragments you can buy from trade station. Okay, so 100 mil soul Erda fragments, and you can just stock them up. You also can get them from farming. Okay, and if anything you get from farming in these Sacred Power field maps are not tradable. So just keep that in mind. If you're wondering, like, and when it comes to farming, you got to make sure it's like nodes. You have to make sure that you have a bag slot for it, for these fragments. So you see right here, I think these ones I transferred over, and this one I farmed. So you just always want to keep one in here if possible in your bag, because the bags fill up quick. Okay, and then if you get any soul Erda charges or anything, it goes automatically here. There's no bag space for it, so even if your bag is full, you still have the chance of getting soul Erdas in from farming. Okay, so that's the 2 ways, farming and bossing, to get these resources here. And then I'll tell you the last one is through this pass. Okay, so this is what I did. I claimed it. I thought, I mean, this is the best bang for your buck, honestly. And this is how I was unable to lock my Hexa stat. But basically, this pass, just through auto battling, you'll get all of these. So this one was 1,000 charges. So this is basically 1 soul Erda. And this is a dense one. So basically, if you get this, this is how right now I unlock the Hexa stat. For the Hexa stat, you'll see this is how I got it to level. But you see there's 2 pages, just like Jewels. And this is how you have to... Oh, you don't have to unlock it. So that's nice. Okay, so when I go on my Demon Slayer, I'll show you guys exactly how to unlock this and how much resources it takes. But you can see it for yourself too. I think it's 5 soul Erdas and 20 fragments. But then you see here, I have these lit up too, right? So this is the route that I take, and I wouldn't take necessarily this route. I think that unlocking this skill is a must, because this is just free lines, free damage, and just unlocking it. And this skill, it depends on your class, okay? So every class has a different one. You have to look in the patch notes to see what you're getting, but these ones give final damage, final damage, final damage. But the reason why I unlocked this one is because Divine Echo actually, which is our big burst, it actually, so you'll see here in the 250, gives me duration. So at level 1, I get 3.3 seconds duration and additional 3% damage. So if you don't know anything about Divine Echo, it's a 90% additional damage. Okay, standard and 60-second buff duration. So the nice thing about this is it actually shows you what your results are and how it levels up, which is nice. Every 1 level. So basically, I think the way it goes, it's about 90 seconds-ish. I didn't really do the math, but you can kind of figure out what the final level 30 is. And then the additional damage, you can see right here, every 10 levels, you're going to get to 100%. So that is a massive, massive route to take for Paladins. And a few classes have this too. Wild Hunters, Shades, Sia, I think Night Lord, Nightwalkers, Lin, all have some sort of buff duration as well. So this is, for Paladins, is a great route to take. That's why I unlocked it. And it's nice that it shows what you have. But most classes will get just final damage, which is still huge. I think I saw someone get like 11% final damage just from level 1. So when you unlock these, you'll see kind of the same thing as these boost notes, right? The increments are. Now, for this skill, Glass, Divine Judgment, Mastery node, okay? So basically, it's 15 hit count. So this is 1 extra line than normal. And I just checked this. Yeah, 15. So I looked at an alt. An alt without this, it was actually 15. It was actually 14. So the change is here. and it gave me 3% more skill damage. Initially, before I unlocked this, it was 14 and 220. Okay, I'll show you here, just so you guys believe me. So I have an alt 220 or 202. That skill is 14 and 220, right? So it's a free line. And I think most classes have something similar to this. And I needed this because my skill doesn't cap. So I need the extra skill percent, but the line count helps, right? And I know some classes even got like Phantoms, got like a Tempest. Their skill was Tempest, and they actually got their cooldown reduced from 45 to 30 seconds. So you got to look at your class specifically, but I almost guarantee you this is a huge priority, probably the first thing you want to do. It's just free, unlocks it, and then eventually you want to unlock this. Okay, so this is kind of the route that I take. Every class is going to be different. People are going to be testing it, see what's the route, see what's the best thing. But I'm going to go jump on my Demon Slayer and try to level this up and show you guys how it works. Okay. All right, I'm here on my Demon Slayer going to test it out. So right now I have 9 Soul Erda and 53 frags. Okay, and so to activate this, just this Hexa stat is 5 Soul Erda and 10. And so I think right now what I'm going to do is I need to get this, right? Unlock this and see what it's all about. So 1 and 10. Activate. We'll see what it is. Grants 1 stack and has team enough. Granted. Okay, just more damage looks like for Demon Impact. Reactivation cooldown, additional boss battle. Okay, so that's nice. Just free damage, right? And then now I'm gonna go into the stats. Okay, so you activate here. You have to choose your stats. So everything that I've seen and told, and I've seen the charts, max damage is the main stat you have to get. Because I think at like the highest level, it's just the best bang for your buck. Okay? Because the issue, final damage, you can get a lot of different places. Even when it's leveled up, it's not that high, and you'll kind of see as you start to level it. And defense ignore rate as well isn't that great as a final stat because of diminishing returns, right? Like 10% ignore enemy or defense ignore rate is not 10% on your stats. Okay, so this is what I'm gonna do. This is I think what everyone's doing. But if for some reason you don't want to do this route, there's 2 options you can do, right? You could do a second one. Second page 2. Oh, I guess then... Oh yeah, change stat. Sorry, here's change stat. And then there's an option to reset. Okay, so I'm just going to go... So you can see the rates here. The higher rates for your main stat, which is why you want it there. And these are just, as you can see, just adds up to 100%. That's just what the rates are. So they're going to change. I'm going to use 10 soul fragments and get final damage. So you see it's only 0.6% final damage. Nothing, not that crazy, right? So you see right there, I got defense ignore rate, final damage. 30 fragments. So let's see. And then as you can see, let's see right here, if I buy 10, I bought these. Okay. So I just got to be on the lookout. People are buying these things out, right? So just be aware. I personally think this is a good value as long as you get max damage cap, but still, it's not terrible if my game doesn't freeze. All right, so we're back and ready to get max damage cap. There you go. So look at this, kind of they're gonna have to do another patch. It says final damage, 10,000 final damage. Jesus. So yeah, I think if you're gonna do the strat, like obviously I'm pretty sure after, let's see, I'll just buy more. I mean, this is, in my opinion, if you can get these at good prices, like this is as good as a bang for your buck as you can get, right? Like 1 bill for a chance at 10 mil max damage cap, 20 mil max damage cap, or 20 mil final damage. I mean, why not, right? That's just my opinion. So hopefully you guys got on this before the Keeper Whale. Yeah, see, obviously that's not very efficient. Meso-wise, unless it hits. No. Okay, yeah. So I'm kind of done here. But yeah. That was, let's say 6. So here's the things that people need to know. Okay, so obviously this is all pretty straightforward. I think after 10 out of 10, so I'm looking at here. So you have 20, and in the patch notes it says you only get 20 enhancements. So that basically means that after 20 you're done, and you're just praying that you get, I don't know, close to 10 max damage cap, whatever it is, or whatever you want. But most likely it's gonna be balanced, right? 667 or 668 or 776 is kind of what your average, and then 20. So that's 20. It doesn't matter what you get, whatever it is, that's all you get for this one. Then you either have to make a new page or reset, which, surprise, only 10 ranks 10 or higher can be reset. Okay, so you have to get through 10 to reset it. So that's good to know. So, but now my stats went up 20 mil max damage cap. We'll take that, which is huge for me because I'm trying to get through Vihila. So I got easy 20 mil, 20% more max damage cap for me, which is massive. And then the IED and the final damage is all just bonus. Like this is barely anything, right? So, but like you can see right here, 20 mil max damage cap for 2 versus 0.7 defense ignore rate, 0.9 final damage for 2 as well. So you can obviously see this has to do with the being a main stat, which is why I think majority of people, and I believe max damage cap has to be the main stat. And yeah, pretty crazy. So let me know if there's anything that I missed that you have questions about. This is obviously just kind of early on. These things you can see, you'll test it out. But I think after this, if I were to guess, right, so my paladin origin is pretty weak. So you got to look at your skill percentage, because my paladins, yeah, my paladins is like 220s and 240s. And you have to remember, there's no defense ignore rate until level 10. Right, so in comparison, right, remember, our nodes over here are all maxed. 15% defense ignore rate. 15% defense ignore rate. This has 0. So this is not going to be hitting the same cap that you expect. And remember, this skill percent doesn't have nodes to it. Right, so even though this says 248 and this says 266, you would think this is hitting harder, but it's really not, because you're missing all this 120% final damage, this 10% physical damage for this skill. Right, so this 6 job skill is probably your weakest skill of your main skills, right? So that, just be aware of that when you look at your battle analysis. Let's see if I can show my battle analysis here. I did, let's say will, sure. Like my V, I did it 3 times. I mean, this is not a lot. I think I overkilled with it, but you can see here 9,000 lines still was my 4th most hardest hitting skill. That's because look at this, it's not hitting very hard. Average damage not hitting very hard. So even more importantly is why you have to, 1, pair it with a lot of your big final damage skills. So think of like weapon aura, 15% or 10% final damage, not impenetrable skin. This blessing, 40% final damage, 15% boss attack. This is what you kind of have to be thinking about as you're doing your damage now to maximize this origin skill, because this origin skill is hitting like for a lot of classes, like wet noodle compared to your other skills, right? So this is also why bishops are important with benediction and all of their passive party final damage. So just there's routes you can take, right? Leveling this is expensive, 2 and 40. I don't think this is worth it for most classes after level 1 as a priority. This is nice maybe just to unlock, but it's all class dependent. Like my paladin, for example, I think after I get my 20 stats here and try to get as much max damage cap as possible, because this is 10, it's going to be 20 fragments per level after level 10. I think that's worth it at the right price. And then anything with Soul Erdas here, I'm probably going to level up my Divine Echo because it gives buff duration and clone damage. But there are just, every class is different. All right, so you got to figure out what's best for you and your class. And then, yeah, it tells you here 10. Like level 10 is a good spot to get to for a lot of these classes, a lot of these skills. So maybe level 10 here, level 10 here. I don't even know if level 10 here for this does anything. Yeah, I'm just going to give you more, probably more attack, I think. So yeah, keep that in mind. Let me know if you have any questions. Hope this helps you guys. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. All right, so one thing I just learned, and shout out to Devo and Nano for letting me know, but basically if you get poor, terrible, quote-unquote RNG and say like you got 9 straight final damage and that's the one you wanted the least, right? You actually can change the stat and change this one to whatever you want. So let's see. Since they're all the same, it doesn't really matter here. But if you wanted to, for some reason, to make final damage your highest one, it actually, scary, right? Kind of tricks you, but there's an extra confirm button here and it's going to show you what it changes to. So that's actually huge, right? And it costs you 100 mil. So the real strategy here is honestly to get your 20 and then see what you end up with. And then you can adjust how you want it to adjust. So that is a nice, actually pretty insane feature that they give us. So there's RNG to it, but not really, right? So that's where I'm sure the whales, like they're going to do here and just do another full round of 20. And then maybe they get one more, like max damage cap is 9, is 8 here, but then it's 9 on this one. Bang, easy switch over. And they're doing that. So that is sneaky good. I hope that helps you guys. Like you don't panic. Like you don't even have to the reset button. I wouldn't even bother with that because then you can just change the stats however you want it for 100 mil. So that is pretty sweet. And then it's kind of nice. Then you can kind of see what all these things do, right? Level 2, 500 magic attack, crit damage, things like that. So that's a good thing. Play around with it, and don't panic if you don't get great RNG off the bat.